Director for AARP Illinois. And before I get started, I want to acknowledge AARP Illinois' secret weapon. The reason why we're able to advance so many issues on behalf of the 50 plus in our state are volunteers, and I want to acknowledge them today. They give of their time to come down to Springfield for many, many weeks during the spring legislative session and veto session if that's necessary. And they advocate on behalf of the 50 plus all over the state of Illinois. So I want to acknowledge them today. I want to thank Chris Becker and David Lanier, David Gruenfelder, Rick Plano, Sandra McAvoy, and Candace Trees. They're the good-looking group in the t-shirts. And they give of their time, and they are the reason why we're able to get so much accomplished today, along with the staff of the Illinois AARP, and of course our fabulous bill sponsors, who are some of whom are here this morning. We are here today because family caregivers are in crisis. 1.3 million family caregivers have told us repeatedly that they are struggling with balancing the care for loved ones with the work, with their work in raising kids, and their own emotional stress, personal health, along with skyrocketing costs of caring for a family member. AARP has always advocated for caregivers at the federal and local level, understanding that their unpaid work is the backbone of the long-term care economy. We knew that we needed to capture both qualitative and quantitative data to support advocacy work on this important issue. So we conducted a comprehensive study to paint a picture of the caregiver experience here in Illinois. The one thing caregivers told us repeatedly is how frustrated they were about the lack of quality information from reliable sources. Every day, caregivers make rushed and difficult decisions whether their hospitalized loved one is going home or going to a facility. They receive a short list of options, a telephone number from the hospital, and from there, they're on their own. With nowhere else to turn, they spend countless hours on Google to figure out the next step for mom, dad, or a loved one. To eliminate this burden, AARP Illinois is proud to champion the Illinois Caregiver Portal, aimed at establishing a central hub of information on caregiving, long-term care, and at-home care solutions. We'd like to thank our sponsors, our fabulous sponsors of the Caregiver Portal legislation, House Bill 4677, that's House Bill 4677, Representative and Chairwoman Anna Moeller, Leader Camille Lilly, Senator and Chairwoman Selena Villanueva, as well as the support from the Illinois Department on Aging under the leadership of Acting Director Mary Kelo. To learn more about this issue or to take action, please visit www.aarp.org/ILCares. I'd like to introduce Senator Villanueva, but I don't believe she's with us right now. So Leader Lilly, can you step up, please? Thank you.
That's what we do. Thank you, Philip. I just want to say, before I read my large words here, thank you. Thank you, AARP and the supporters. You get it. Caregiving is truly, truly essential to every family in our country. So again, thank you. With that, as a caregiver myself, I understand the immense challenges and sacrifices that comes with caring for a loved one. My own experience has shaped my dedication in advocating for better support systems for our caregivers across Illinois. During times of care crisis, having access to comprehensive caregiving resources is not just helpful, it's absolutely essential. Family caregivers need support, guidance to resources and information to navigate the complexity of their responsibilities. Illinois has the opportunity to lead the nation in prioritizing caregivers and the support that they need. I am a proud co-sponsor of the Caregiver Portal, along with Chairman Anna Moeller, a good friend, who allowed me to be a co-sponsor, so thank you, to this bipartisan issue. Our aim is to make sure that we're easing the stress of families and the burdens of families when it comes to caring for a loved one. Our goal is to empower the caregivers with the tools and resources needed to navigate their journey with confidence and resilience. Through the Caregiver Portal, we can provide caregivers the information needed to make informed decisions and access the support they deserve. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of caregivers and their loved ones. I am truly honored to lead alongside Senator Villanueva, Representative Moeller, as we, I'm going to say, attack this issue. With that, I do want, it's my honor, my pleasure, I'd like to bring to you the sponsor in the House of this most important piece of legislation, Chairman Anna Moeller.
Thank you, Leader Lilly. It is an honor to work on this very important issue with you, as we've worked on so many important issues in the human services realm here in the House. Like Chair Lilly and Leader Lilly, I have lived this issue in my family just recently. We just recently lost my mother-in-law, and in the months leading up to her decline, as a family, we struggled to find good information about caregiver resources for her. And as someone in my position, you would think that I would have an easy time accessing those types of resources. I've been the chair of the Aging Committee. I've been a legislator for 10 years now. But even in my position, it was a struggle. So we know that families all over the state have similar struggles when they are trying to find the care that they need for their loved ones. And so when AARP approached me about sponsoring this bill, I did not hesitate, understanding and truly living this issue as a family. And my experience is backed up by research that's been done by AARP in talking to families all across the state. Caregivers reported in the AARP Illinois Pathways to Care study that there is not a one-stop shop or trusted source of information for navigating the process of finding long-term care services and support or finding financial assistance for these services. Many participants in the study described the search as lonely and confusing, and caregivers in particular feeling quite helpless. For those reasons and the ones that I've explained personally, I am proud to champion the Caregiver Portal Bill, House Bill 46770, with Leader Lilly and Senator Villanueva, aimed at establishing a central hub of information on caregiving, long-term and at-home care services for individuals over 50 under the Illinois Department on Aging. And I really appreciate all the work that the department has done and their leadership on this issue. This legislation is a proactive approach to caregiving support, acknowledging the crucial role caregivers play in the healthcare continuum and the state's commitment to their well-being. The portal will include planning tools and resources aimed at streamlining caregiving processes with the goal of improving care quality for recipients and alleviating the workload for caregivers. We know that family caregivers are juggling so many responsibilities in their lives, and this is going to help alleviate many of the stresses that they experience when they're trying to access help. And with that, I will turn this back over to Mr. Largent, and thank you so much for being here and reporting on this issue.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I appreciate your comments, and thank you, Chairwoman and Leader Lilly. We are joined now by our fabulous Senate sponsor, Cecilia Villanueva, to give some comments on this bill. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm State Senator Selena Villanueva and represent the 12th District, which is on the southwest side of the city of Chicago. I want to thank you all for joining us here today as we are here to shine a light on a group that forms the backbone of care communities across the state, which are family caregivers. Their unwavering commitment is especially notable in Latino communities where family values and care for elders hold a special place in honor and respect. And I speak as a former caregiver to my mother and my mother who was a caregiver to my grandmother, both of who now have unfortunately passed away. And I'm proud of being able to collaborate with AARP Illinois and to serve as the chief sponsor in the Senate on House Bill 4677. The role of a caregiver, while filled with love, comes with its share of challenges, as we know. Statistics show that a 65% increase in stress and a 61% increase in worry among caregivers. These figures underline the daily struggles many face as they balance caregiving, family life, work, paying for new care expenses, and their own health needs. And I know this all too well. The Caregiver Portal is more than just a legislative initiative. It's hope and support for those who give so much of themselves every single day. By providing easy access to resources and information, we're ensuring that caregivers have the support to continue their very invaluable work. With that, I'm going to throw it back because I know I messed up the process a little bit, but apologies, was running from committee and will probably be running back to committee in a little bit.
You're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you so much, Senator. Now I'd like to introduce an AARP volunteer who is also has experience in caregiving, and Rick Planos. Please come to the mic.
Thanks, Philippe. I'd like to thank the Honorable Senator, representatives, and AARP Illinois for acknowledging and advocating on behalf of Illinois family caregivers today. I too am proud to be a caregiver. My name's Rick Planos. I'm a third-generation Evanstonian, a graduate of University of Illinois at Champaign, and a proud 18-year member of AARP. I am a son, I'm a father, and I'm a grandfather. For 40 years, I had a busy career, moving all over the country with my wife and 2 children. A few years ago, I gave up that career and ended up moving back into the twin bed that I grew up in. I became the caregiver for my mom back in Evanston in the house that I lived in since 1963 when my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. That was an unpaid full-time job that lasted over 5 years. Taking care of my mom in her final years was an incredible privilege. It was completely unexpected, and it's the biggest challenge I've ever faced in my life. You know you would do anything for your parents. I knew I would. But when it happens, you discover it's incredibly more complicated than you could have ever imagined. Every day was different. Every day had a different challenge. And on some of those days, every hour was a different challenge. No one in my family had ever had Alzheimer's. I knew nothing about it, so I had to become a student. I have a graduate degree, but it's not in medicine. I knew none of those things. One day, you're managing medications and looking them up to see if they counteract. One day, you're scheduling doctor's appointments and finding out that this portal doesn't talk to that portal from that hospital. One day, you're scheduling physical therapy. The next day, it's just trying to get your mom to sleep, just hoping she'll eat something, or possibly trying to learn how to fix her hair. Eventually, you're changing diapers. You're removing the living room furniture to make room for the hospital bed. And you're shopping for baby monitors to make sure you hear it if she falls in the other room in the middle of the night. The emotional price of this is even higher. Everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has a different suggestion, and some of those suggestions aren't good. You are suddenly not just the son. You're also the parent, you're the doctor, you're the accountant, you're the lawyer, you're the safety expert, you're the nutritionist. You're dealing things like I did with, can she really eat chicken salad 3 meals a day for a week? Is that good? Is that bad? Is that better than nothing? Is there something more I should be doing? Is there something more I should be looking at? Like I said, I'm trying to be a student and learn this, but every day it's a moving target. I would pull out my phone, I would go to my trusty Google and search, looking for a support group, for an adult day program, for a community of people for her, and finally, for a support group for me. Managing multiple hospital portals, juggling the phone calls, checking the prices, listening to the recommendations, discounting the recommendations, and the treatment options was overwhelming. What do I say when she wants to talk to my dad, but he's been gone for 12 years? What do I say when she says she wants to go home, but we're in the home? This family caregiver portal is a game changer. It would have been a lifesaver for me. It would have really made things so much easier for me, my family, my mother, for all of us. To have a centralized hub where I could find resources would have been an invaluable tool. Caregiving is so much more than the medical side of things. It's insurance, it's making your home accessible. It's all these things I had no background in. It's overwhelming, and having a place where you can connect with others, where you can find authoritative information, people in the same boat, find local resources and support groups at the click of a button would be a godsend. Knowing there's a community and a wealth of resources out there specifically tailored for people like me would have lifted a lot of weight off my shoulders. It would have been more than just helpful. It would have been a lifeline for me. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for giving serious consideration to this bill that will help both seniors and caregivers across the state of Illinois. And thank you for making it better for the next generation. Philippe.
Rick, thank you for sharing that story, and thanks to all the caregivers up here who shared their stories. It's really indicative of what's happening in Illinois and across the country. So many people are caregivers, whether you call yourself a caregiver or not. If you're taking care of a loved one, either in their final years or a sick child, you are caregiving, and there's an expense both in terms of a monetary expense, but an expense in time and energy, and it's about time that we start acknowledging that. And the least we can do is provide quality resources and information to people who are now doing this for the first time. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for stuff.
Thank you, absolutely, absolutely. Jenny, where are you from? Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna, of course, sign to get a quick picture.
Okay.
All right, let's get together. I'll take a quick picture. All right, everyone in?
Yes.
All right, ready?
I think she would like you to turn around.
All right.
Grand picture.